I don't know if you don't realize the hypocrisy that you're sending across the aisle, or if nobody's opened your eyes to this, but you're the same folks that support abortion on demand without parental involvement for 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. Talk about serious decisions, life and death decisions. You want to take the parents out of that decision, but God forbid somebody actually wants to go and earn a few bucks for their college.
On its face, it sounds like a pretty innocuous thing, right? Let's do something to help homeless kids get jobs. Who could be opposed to that? But at the hearing, we learned a lot of really interesting things about the bill. What we learned in the hearing, Mr. Speaker, members, from DWD is they've never denied a request for people who have called them and said, can we give these homeless kids a job permit? But what the bill does do is it takes away, for people who are living with their parents, it takes away the parents' ability to sign off on whether or not that young person should have a job or not. That's no longer in the hands of parents to decide. That's now exempted from the law. So now it means that anybody who wants to get a job permit, who may be 16 years old or 15 years old, who wants to do that, the parent no longer has to sign off on it. Now, that's not addressing homelessness. The other thing that we found out is when you do away with the fee, that defunds, I believe it was 5 or 6 positions at DWD who do investigations on child labor law abuses, right? So the gentlelady from the 31st says, look, there's money there now. Sounds like there might be some money there for 2-3 years, but then what? Well, then basically what we're saying is if we want to continue to have an enforcement mechanism with actual staff on child labor law abuses, we'll have to fight for that down the road. So then you ask, well, okay, so there's nobody involved in homelessness who can't get a permit according to DWD. It's not really about whether or not people can get a job. It takes away parental rights when it comes to whether or not their child can get a job permit. It defunds child labor investigations. And then on top of that, it replaces the term child labor with some other euphemism to make it seem as though it's not something that we should be concerned about when it comes to people's rights.
We allow 16 and 17-year-old students to drive cars, make day-to-day decisions about where they are going, what they're doing, who they're with, every single day. And I think it is also their capability of talking with their parents, to deciding, if a job is good for them or not, and they can talk with their parents and do that if they have parents involved in their lives. And there are other things parents can do with their children to make sure that they're following along with what the child's decisions are. So I'm green on this bill. Thank you.
At what point do you need a permit from the government to be a parent? I've had 4 kids. 2 are stepkids and 2 are my own. I've never needed government's position or permit, anything, Mr. Speaker, issued by the state of Wisconsin to tell me I could be a parent. So whether there's a permit involved or not, does that lead me to believe that you feel that the Wisconsinites and the parents in this state are not going to be involved in the decisions of their children's lives? That they're not going to decide, if they should be spending more time doing their schoolwork because they're following behind? Oh, wait, government didn't give me a permit as a parent so that I can control that. Are you kidding me? This is ludicrous. This bill is one of the best things we've seen this year. It gives young Wisconsinites the right to get a job, work, personal responsibility, something that is so lacking in our society. And all the hyperbole and this, you won't be a parent or you can't be a parent or anything else because the state of Wisconsin did not give you a permit to do so. Really? The vote on this bill is green.
This is a great bill. I have 3 kids. They all work in high school. And They came to me when they wanted to work, we discussed it. When they got home from work, they told me about their job, and that's what protected them from being taken advantage of, not a silly work permit that I might have signed. I'd say as a parent, if you're counting on that work permit to protect your kids, you have a lot more serious troubles than this.
Because what we were hearing from the kids, from Jamila Love, who was on the front page of the Journal-Sentinel a couple weeks ago for scoring a perfect 10 on the ACEs, the Adverse Childhood Experience. Every single one of them she had had. And you know what? She falsified her parents' signature on the work permit, got her first job at Goodwill, and told us it was the best thing that ever happened to her. So I'm just going to go with what I know. I'm going to go with what I hear. I'm going to go with my gut on this and say, I don't think we need another layer of government.